Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Let's Talk Antiques here on this Wednesday morning with sunshine. And boy, sounds like thunder in the distance, doesn't it?
It's a little rumble.
Yeah, local.
Can you turn me up a little bit right here?
Turn you up.
Yeah, better.
Oh, yeah,
Good.
Thank you very much.
That's good.
Is that better?
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
so
Now what?
So we're on.
We're on
Let's
here.
Talk Antiques.
We're gonna talk about old military toys, tin-type toys,
Tin-type.
soldiers,
Yep.
lead soldiers, little lead soldiers,
Yep.
different scales, and
Some of those are pretty nice. They can be really well detailed, I guess. Is some and a big area. A lot of people collect those.
Yeah, like
Big
G.I. Joe. No, just
Well,
well, G.I.
I'm
Joe
talking
is
about the little,
collectible,
they got whole.
we're talking about like the little lead soldiers, and they made them out of paper. They made them out of wood composites.
Yeah,
Sure,
the paper mache,
Wooden
is that what
blade.
they call them? Yeah.
the lead soldiers were before my time. I was just playing with the little green plastic guys. So.
Yeah, well, they got those too. Yeah, like on Toy Story.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's more my generation
Yeah.
of the toy soldiers.
Well, I got one of those things, where you can make your own lead soldiers.
Oh, do you really? You got the molds?
I got the mold. I got the mold and the little pot to cook it in and everything.
Wow.
And
The burner for, or to use stove?
it has a little electric
Little burner?
heater-like device, and it has a couple molds. It only has, I think, I only got 2 or 3 molds left now. That was my dad's actually when he was a kid.
Those molds are probably worth quite a bit of money. I'd
Yeah.
say that. Well, I know tell me what that little set was.
And but nowadays with everybody's scared to death of lead.
Well, rightly so.
Other than lead bullets, but I mean, now you hear about everything having lead and you get lead poisoning. But
Generally, you're not supposed to sit around and chew on it. Yeah.
well, yeah, it's not a good idea.
Yeah.
But it's really amazing. You look back at like that was a toy that my dad had. Probably dates from the 20s.
Well,
late
they
20s.
couldn't sell a toy like that nowadays.
I know. I mean, it's a little electric
And the
heater, a little
liabilities.
pot, and it melts the lead. So the lead is hot. You burn you bad if you got it on you because it would stick to you. It wouldn't get away from you.
Yeah, I know. When I was a kid, we melted lead for plumbing joints.
Yeah, and here you are with a kid. You got a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old playing with this hot. And they're pouring it into the lead, and into the mold, and making their own. And the mold, in order for it not to stick, you took a candle and smoked it.
Oh.
So you got an open fire on a candle.
Yeah.
you
with your hot plate.
and they're holding it over, and you're smoking the mold, so it gets smoky.
Oh,
It gets covered with black soot.
I thought you was going to say you put wax in it, but now that.
And some of them even had a material that you put in there, and when you poured it in, it would just instantly stick.
Yeah.
And you could shake it.
Yeah.
And it'd make them hollow.
Oh, okay.
So that
They didn't weigh as much.
I mean, if you just took the bare metal and poured the lead in, they would solder it together.
Oh,
See?
okay. All right.
Makes it hard to get apart. But anyway, here this is the kind of a toy a kid had in the 1920s, 1930s, and nowadays it seems like we gotta, they gotta put asbestos. Well, you can't have asbestos gloves, but you got
No.
I can't have that anymore. But they have to have gloves, and you have a helmet on and eye goggles and all this stuff, And no wonder everybody's panicking over this virus. I didn't say that, did I?
I had a thing that was it was called a thing maker, and you made these little monsters or things that you could put on the end of your
pencil. It was like
and
little
stuff.
plastic, though.
It was plastic. It
a
was
soft
called
rubber.
Plastigoop was the
Yeah,
name
goop,
of the material,
yeah.
and it was a little hot plate thing.
Yeah.
And it was some kind of metal tray, and you would put it in there and use the goop to make them different colors.
Yeah.
And it was at my grandmother's house when I was a little kid. Me and my brother used to play with it, and then the hot plate portion of it like burned up or whatever. So we just ended up using the oven, which
How'd that go over with Mom?
Oh, this was fine. It was great. We made millions of those things.
Grandmothers let you get away with stuff like that. Mothers would never.
Oh, no, my mom was fine with it. We found that was before you could go online, but we researched all over the place and found where there were warehouses of like some of the old stuff.
Yeah.
And then like for Christmas, we got like a couple of big containers of the goop after we'd used up all the stuff that was made in the 60s probably.
Yeah.
This was in the late 70s, so it was only 10 years old at that point.
Yeah. But it's amazing how things, nowadays you would never have a toy like that.
It was definitely a hot plate with
and,
kids
and,
playing.
and I will have to admit that when I was playing with it, when I was a kid, there was a couple times that the hot lead splashed and it burns and it hurts. I can still remember that, but
You put it in your coffee to warm up your coffee.
warm up your coffee. But it's funny. But lead soldiers, some of them are really detailed. Now the ones that are commercially made, and I guess they're detailed, and they down to and I do have some nice ones that I used to put out at Christmas time, and that's why I don't have them here. They're packed away somewhere.
Oh, okay.
But one set was the military academy, West Point.
Okay.
They're like West Point in their white. They have the white pants with the gray jacket. And there's like 10 of them, I guess. They're marching with their rifles. In the set, and the other set, and I'm not quite sure what they were, but they were another nationality, and I want to say probably English, but they were African American soldiers. In a brown, and they had like shorts on. They got rifles, I don't know where. I don't remember what country they were supposed to be representing at that anymore, but they're real detailed.
Were they all painted up when you
They're
got
all
them?
painted. Oh yeah, painted up. They even got the face, little, even the facial, which meant that somebody had to do a lot of that by hand.
Yes,
Oh, completely,
But it was not done by me. The soldier might have been made by a machine or a mold, but then somebody had to hand paint all those.
And there were some of the plastic sets that they done multi-layered coloring on.
Yeah.
But they had to hand paint the lead ones.
Well, that's
or
what-
the tin ones.
Yeah, when I first heard we were going to talk about lead soldiers, I just assumed that they were like the green plastic ones and unpainted that I grew up with. I had no idea of the detail.
A lot of them came
yeah.
like that,
Goes
and
into
people
these.
painted them.
Okay.
Yeah.
My brother used to paint figures back in college for like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I've seen that being done, but those weren't. I don't guess those were lead figures in the 90s. Those probably
No.
weren't lead figures.
I bet they were
80s and
plastic.
No, they were
I bet they were.
No, they were metal, but they weren't.
metal.
Oh,
Okay.
tin
And you can still buy those, like
or
people-
aluminum.
Yeah.
That's the only use I know of figures is playing those kind of tabletop games and stuff.
But some people have big collect. Now, and I want to say that I saw something on the news recently where somebody passed away. It might have been, there is a program on, I guess it's still on Fox News about strange inheritances or something.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
Hmm.
And it seems to me that somebody passed away and left their daughter or their son their collection of toy soldiers. And I saw that maybe a year ago. And this guy had a gigantic room with glass cases, and he had, he had some different scenes, like some were like World War II, and he had all the different figures that represent World War II, and then some were like Roman, or, and it was, I don't know how many thousands of pieces this person had. It was absolutely gorgeous. But that's the extreme.
Yeah.
A nice collection to inherit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's worth a lot of money. But there's a lot of us that probably have something like that maybe is stuck away in our Christmas decoration box that we drag out and put under the tree once a year. That surprisingly may be worth a little bit of money if you were to research it. Mm-hmm. So what's the Antique Weekly say about it?
Well, do we have something we need to talk about first?
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Here you
Should
go.
we
Philip?
tell we're on WMSR radio, listening to us live on Wednesday morning. Wednesday? This is Wednesday.
This is Wednesday.
Yeah.
And you can catch us later on Charter Channel 193. I believe it's 6 o'clock tonight. and LightTube Channel 6. And also you can find us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on Facebook and YouTube.
Oh.
Wow.
So like us, share us, tell your friends about us.
Yeah, I did. I
Forward
did.
us around.
I told several friends about the program. They unfriended me. I don't know. I don't know what happened.
They
there.
did not.
That'll
No.
happen.
Oh yeah. No, they did. But
I told a lady last night she didn't have Charter or LightTube, you know.
Uh-huh.
I told her she could watch us on YouTube, so I think she did.
well, good.
That's what YouTube, you can go back to all, this is our 6th season, so
Yeah.
you can go back to the previous 5 seasons really easily on that. And all
Yeah,
just
you
a
know, since you're
playlist.
locked up at home now, and you want to binge watch
You can binge watch Stock Antiques.
Stock Antiques.
Talking over 5 seasons at almost an hour a show,
Oh.
that's 52 shows a year. Gosh, that's,
300 shows.
yeah, you could really,
You could really kill some
some brain cells.
and that too. Oh, but anyway,
Okay, now we were talking about
Yep.
the different types of these
yeah.
soldiers.
What do you got there?
Okay, they made aluminum. Okay, you get slush cast aluminum made cheaply in France during the early middle 20th century. Okay, you could get the unpainted army men. It's all plastic. They were sold in big bags.
Yep.
You know, you use them in play sets. So if you blasted a big bunch of them, you didn't blow a lot of money on,
Exactly.
on your good men. Okay, then you had composition. Those are the ones I was talking about.
Oh,
made out
yeah.
of the sawdust and glue.
Right. I remember them.
They were manufactured in Austria and Germany. Dang, I got a tickle in my throat. Okay, connoisseur now. High quality collectible figures featuring highly detailed paint jobs, so you could buy them like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or the Dinosaurs, which was the most popular.
Right.
They were hollow or slush cast iron. The hollows were, I was talking about how they'd shake it out.
Right.
So from the 20s and 60s. Then you had the flat ones,
Oh yeah.
two-dimensional, just one side painted.
Right.
You know, the little stand-up tent soldiers. Hollow cast in metal, usually a lead alloy, which cools and sets as it touches the mold. The excess molten metals poured out. That's what I was talking about earlier. Paper. Now, these would probably be the rarer because the paper products wouldn't have held up
Right.
as well. Printed on sheets of paper or cardboard, frequently mounted on blocks of wood. I never saw them mounted to the wood. Of course, the hardness all plastics, generally painted figures. Solid, cast in metal, usually lead, common in Germany during the 1900s. And then just wood. From the 19th century, Germany produced large amounts of wooden fortresses and toy soldiers like the little forts.
Yeah, that's
Right.
I guess,
Like
yeah,
that.
of course wood would predate the
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
and
metal and plastic. I hadn't thought about it
An
then.
interesting thing now is these war games. It says that was pioneered by H.G. Wells in his 1913 book. What they call that? Little Wars.
I don't know that one.
Mm-hmm. And that's where he laid out the rules for warfare with miniature toy soldiers.
Huh.
And that was a big thing back then. Lots of people got in on that. So, and you've got the Antique Week story for us, don't you?
I do. Should we take a break before I dive into it?
Yeah, it is time. You're right on.
Oh, wow.
Boy, usually you don't pay attention to that.
Well, you know,
Just because David's not here.
Just because David's not here, there you go.
Yeah, I guess we better take a quick break, and we come back. We'll get some more information about toy soldiers.
The Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester has been voted as having the best hamburgers in Manchester. Hometown atmosphere, historical memorabilia, and of course those great burgers, salads, chicken, and so much more. It's the Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester. Call in orders at 728-4452. You can also order at the convenient outdoor curb service. Hamburgers are made the old-fashioned way at the Jiffy Burger, Manchester's finest hamburgers. Open 7:30 until 9, Monday through Saturday.
Tune in to Let's Talk Antiques for the only locally produced antique show in the area. Every week, David, Ronnie, Philip, and Howard bring you new topics about how to maximize your investments in collectibles. Whether that's Star Wars toys or cowboy movie posters, they cover it all. Show founder David Pennington has been featured on the History Channel's American Pickers and is well known for his knowledge of Coca-Cola memorabilia, vintage gas pumps, and all things cowboy related. That's Let's Talk Antiques, live Wednesdays at 9 a.m. on WMSR Radio, or watch our video replays on P-Head's Charter Channel 193, LightTube's Channel 6, or on our Facebook and YouTube channels. There's always a new find on Let's Talk Antiques.
Hello, I'm Pick and Rick T from CFC, best place to get you used auto parts and all types of metals to repurpose for your needs. Just take a drive down 55, see this handsome guy, stop on by. Check out our computer for hundreds of autos to locate the make and the model of the part you need. $2 fee is all you pay. Sign in and get a hand stamp, it's good for all day. Bring in your tools, get the parts you need pulled, and use a wheelbarrow to lighten the load. Pay for your parts, prices you'll be fond of. Each part's price the same, Chevy or Honda. Get exchange warranty for 30 days too. Swap out the parts you don't need for the parts that you do. Happy picking.
Well, we would be back if I could push the buttons
Hold
right.
the button down. You have to hold it the whole time we're
Yeah. I don't know what happened there. Push with one finger and the other one. Never mind. Anyway, luckily we're not on television. You can't see what's going on. Anyway, we're back here, and we've been talking about toy soldiers, collectible toy soldiers, or war toys, I guess you might say. I guess we would include things like cannons and tanks and like that in
Military.
there. A lot of anything military, but in the toy area. And you wanted to hear a song, you said? What was it?
No, that was just my relevant song that comes to mind is Ohio. It's
Yeah, it's the name
10
of it.
soldiers is a line in that, so that's
Just a line.
that's my
okay.
my reference to non plastic ones.
Okay.
Neil Young's older than me.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Yeah, we nowadays, I guess you if you were to talk to a kid, they'd probably think of the plastic. You buy them in a bag,
Yeah, well, that's me too. I mean, I
big
was-
old bag full for a couple $. You know, they're green.
Shoot them with your cannon.
That's right.
Oh, did you hear that somebody wrote the company that makes them and said that there should be females included in those, and they have since added
I was going
female.
to say there probably are by now.
They did, yeah. Somebody complained, you know. I guess they never thought about it
Yeah.
because it was just all
Well,
males.
mostly it's World War II
Yeah.
soldiers too, you know.
Yeah.
Or at least the ones I played with were all pretty much
Yeah,
World War II
but so
soldiers.
now there are both male and female soldiers
Yeah.
in the bags nowadays.
I got a thing saying lead poisoning concerns in the 1950s caused more manufacturers to look at plastic as the best, safest, and most economical way to go from then on. They also felt that plastic enabled them to make more realistic figures. And beginning in the 50s, Louis Marx and the company sold box sets of figures and accessories called play sets, such as U.S. Army Training Center and the Battleground. Marx dominated the market in the 50s and 60s. And they had also, they made there was a concerted effort in the 50s to, apparently up to there was, most of the figures looked like World War One.
Yeah, the helmet style.
The helmets were different,
Yeah.
exactly. So in the 50s, there was a concerted effort to recast those and have those as, you know, the World War II type helmets.
Yeah, the old steel pot.
And to bring the weapons of that with more like the radio operators and things
Right.
like that. Let's see, well, let's say the picture that they're showing on this isn't the one that I had. So they had a Army combat set and Japanese soldiers in their Iwo Jima set, released in 1963. In 1965, a D-Day Marx set featured allies with blue French, British in khaki, and Russians in teal blue. So they would occasionally color the different plastics so you could tell what nationality
They were. Okay.
So you could
Cool.
bring your people together. I didn't see what the Germans were. I don't know. Maybe they didn't have Germans.
Well, you got to have opposing forces.
Seems like you have to have an opposing force, wouldn't you, if you're playing army men in America in the
otherwise you have
50s and 60s?
Germany made lots of the German soldiers. They made the Hitler and his officers.
Yeah.
Their cars, their vehicles. They made games, and the purpose of these was to teach kids about anti-Semitism. Mm-hmm. And they were all over the place in Germany, and those pieces are bringing lots of money now.
Yeah, because I don't think I've ever seen anything like with Hitler or anything like that. His figure.
I saw quite a few.
Yeah.
And there was one soldier that was at a shop in Germany at the end of the war. He traded some cigarettes and some chocolates for a whole set and sent them back to his son.
Uh-huh.
And the son was 5 years old at the time. That was 1945, and he still got them.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, nice looking set.
Now that would be a collectible, real collectible items.
And I tell you, I saw one that had it was two pieces in the set, and one was a small Hitler, and the other was a big Japanese robot. And Hitler was begging the Japanese robot for help.
So anyway, yeah, that's. But you know, a lot of this stuff, a person here locally may have. Somebody,
yes.
Somebody may have sent
sure.
some stuff home to their
unless
kids.
their kids blew them up on the
That's
sandbox.
Because you don't
with
think of these
fireworks.
things as being valuable someday.
No,
you
lots
know?
of that German stuff is really desirable
And
right
but
now.
I could see somebody having a few pieces. Maybe they've been sticking it out. Like I said, kind of like my little soldiers. You know, I put them out at sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes I'll put them out at Christmas. Under the Christmas tree, along with a few other little odds and ends, kind of decorate underneath the tree, you know.
You ought to look them up. Ain't no telling what they're worth.
They might be worth some money.
I
but-
found some big prices on this stuff, and we get down here, we'll give them some prices.
Yeah.
You can put them in a box once you look them up the prices and give them to me next year for Christmas.
There you
Howard,
go.
if that's what
Oh, okay.
Okay, now also it says that, those military items, they include Britain, a big company in England.
Uh-huh.
You get knights. They
Oh,
make
yeah.
the knights. And now they made some of the higher dollar pieces.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also, think about cowboys, American Indians, pirates, and samurai
Yeah.
are all considered military personnel.
Sure, yeah, I guess so.
Well, the
They're
knights
probably-
were the
yeah.
military back in the medieval
Yeah.
times.
I bet the knights are probably more popular in Britain and the samurai more, in the
Yes,
eastern
that's
area,
what, and that's
kind of
what
thing.
the story I read said. That it was depending on the area, the
Yeah.
country you were in,
Right.
what the stuff was bringing.
But you get a real collector, because we talked about that person that passed away and left that inheritance. If I remember right, he had, when they did that show, they had like showcases, like you would see at a big store,
Uh-huh.
and it would be a particular area or time frame, this was cowboys and Indians and,
Yeah, sure.
wagons and all that, all to scale.
Sure,
And
yeah.
then there's somebody, and then maybe the next case was all the knights and the round table and things like that. There are some serious collectors out
that'd be
there.
a really neat collection.
Oh
to have.
my! It was I don't remember what they said it was worth.
There's no telling.
It was one of those shows. There was nothing else on, and I saw it, and the guy watching it, and I said, "Boy, this is a pretty good
Yeah,
program."
this is not bad to stumble across.
Yeah, I'd never seen it
That's
before.
the same show where I found the guy with all the NASA stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on there.
Oh,
yeah.
The weird.
I knew I'd heard of it
inheritances.
somewhere. That,
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was another other show.
That's a great show. Get a chance, you ought to watch it. So you got some more there.
Okay, yeah, I've got some more. So let's what's the same. Today, collectors will find most Army men are made inexpensively in China,
Yeah.
and don't include the extensive accessories that were common in the Marx playsets. When the expert says, Tim Mee was a toy manufacturer out of Aurora, Illinois, and produced lots of classic Army men style. Let's see. In the 1960s, a lot of them were created at 1/36th scale by the maker Lido, L-I-D-O, and they were more of a yellowish green, and they had like a huge selection of different weapons to be holding, everything from bazookas to every kind of rifle, and in different running positions and things like that too. That were pretty cool.
That would be close to a 2-inch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've got the story about the women. Earlier this month, Jeff Emile of BMC Toys in Scranton, Pennsylvania, announced his company will produce female Army figures. His release should be hitting toy shelves by October and will include a canine handler, a military nurse, and Rosie the Riveter atop a We Can Do It pedestal. Emile's effort is in conjunction with Women's History Month. New toys will come in sets of 36. 86-piece buckets will also be available. He said the women have served a long time in a lot of roles, and sometimes they feel invisible. So hopefully we can add to education about women in the military and how important they are. We've been really the main supporter of base for the project, and we wouldn't have gotten the project done without the military women who have supported us. So Emile was moved to work on female soldier replicas after receiving a letter of request from a 6-year-old Vivian Lord asking Emile to make girl Army men, and some girls don't like pink, so please make Army girls who look like women in green. So there you go.
There you go. Yeah, I thought that was fairly recent I had heard about that. But
and there's also Civil War soldiers too, which
yeah,
which I've never seen any Civil War.
I don't think I've ever seen, other than these fancy collectible sets that But have you ever been to Gettysburg?
No.
I was a kid.
Oh,
so,
okay.
I don't remember a whole lot about it.
It's really a neat place, and I'm sure there's other places like it. But the battle was fought there in Gettysburg, and the city is pretty much of a historical area, and they have several museums where they have reenactments of particular battles, and they have the little collectible soldiers and the Civil War uniform stuff, and I don't know if they were made specially for them or if they were able to buy that on the open market and make it into the scene. But it's almost like being there. The detail is so good in everything.
I was looking for toy soldiers actually made during the Civil War. I was having a hard time finding anything.
Probably not many.
But, there were companies making toys back then.
Yeah, but I don't know.
So, there were some.
Yeah, there might have been.
But they're few and far between, so they're going to be very collectible, very desirable, and very expensive.
Right. Maybe probably more along the line of wooden toys.
Well, they had
carvings,
They had the lead ones, too.
Okay, they did.
Mm-hmm.
But, probably during and after the Civil War, people didn't think in terms of like we are today. We're very, very affluent, and so we collect a lot of stuff. Where back then you didn't spend big money on your kids, and people didn't have big rooms full of collectible stuff. They were
more worried about surviving.
More worried about surviving, yes, sir.
Surviving was the goal back then.
That was it.
Multi-generational homes from back then, they'd throw their junk in the barns.
Yeah.
Just wherever they got done with it.
Yeah.
Attics. It's a place to find that stuff.
But, the stuff that got thrown away would have been worth a mint today.
Oh, Lord,
if
yes.
you could have got a box of it.
Well, there's still quite a bit of it out there, it's waiting to be found.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was looking online about trying to pull up toy soldier poses, and obviously all of the newer made little green Army men don't look nearly as detailed as the ones that I remember playing with as a kid.
No.
So, gosh, that means if I wanted to do that, I'd have to go out and buy them off of eBay as old collectible ones and pay premium for them.
Get you something like Howard's, or talk Howard out of his.
They wouldn't be a penny a piece at this point.
No.
You
should buy a great big old bag for 98 cents or a dollar or something. If maybe absolutely. It was, I don't know, but and even that bag today costs more than that, and it's not as nice as it was years ago.
Okay.
Well, I have a tin soldier, a 90 millimeter, from St. Petersburg. Just for instance, brought $1,590 on to buy it now.
Wow.
It's about 4 inches, 90 millimeter, something like that. Yeah.
Something like that.
Should we hit a commercial break and come back and do the
Right.
9:30.
You're pretty good. You're good. You're trying to take my job,
There
aren't
you go. That's my point.
Oh. Okay. The boss says it's time for a break. We'll be right back.
The Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester has been voted as having the best hamburgers in Manchester. Hometown atmosphere, historical memorabilia, and of course those great burgers, salads, chicken, and so much more. It's the Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester. Call in orders at 728-4452. You can also order at the convenient outdoor curb service. Hamburgers are made the old-fashioned way at the Jiffy Burger, Manchester's finest hamburgers. Open 7:30 until 9, Monday through Saturday.
Tune in to Let's Talk Antiques for the only locally produced antique show in the area. Every week, David, Ronnie, Philip, and Howard bring you new topics about how to maximize your investments in collectibles. Whether that's Star Wars toys or cowboy movie posters, they cover it all. Show founder David Pennington has been featured on the History Channel's American Pickers and is well known for his knowledge of Coca-Cola memorabilia, vintage gas pumps, and all things cowboy related. That's Let's Talk Antiques, live Wednesdays at 9 a.m. on WMSR Radio, or watch our video replays on P-Head's Charter Channel 193, LightTube's Channel 6, or on our Facebook and YouTube channels. There's always a new find on Let's Talk Antiques.
Hello, I'm Pick and Rick T from CFC, best place to get you used auto parts and all types of metals to repurpose for your needs. Just take a drive down 55, see this handsome guy, stop on by. Check out our computer for hundreds of autos to locate the make and the model of the part you need. $2 fee is all you pay. Sign in and get a hand stamp, it's good for all day. Bring in your tools, get the parts you need pulled, and use a wheelbarrow to lighten the load. Pay for your parts, prices you'll be fond of. Each part's price the same, Chevy or Honda. Get exchange warranty for 30 days too. Swap out the parts you don't need for the parts that you do. Happy picking!
All right, we're back here with Let's Talk Antiques, and we're talking about toy soldiers and toy military toy items, I guess.
Militaria, if you want to be technical.
Yeah.
I call them military toys or war toys.
War toys, yeah.
Yes.
I have got a really nice. It's not exactly the military, but it's a British lead figure hunt series. So these are like guys in red coats on horses.
Oh yeah.
And out, and they have gosh, let's see, how many are these? There's about 24 horsemen, about 15 standing figures, probably 30 dogs, and one fox.
One fox, poor fox.
And they're all lead figures and just amazingly painted. I mean,
yeah, the
they
detail on some of this stuff is
great.
unbelievable.
And it's sold for $1,301.
Now that's the money.
There you go. Let me see if it was an antique even. No, it doesn't even have anything special as to say it's from the 1930s or anything.
Huh.
So it was just that collection. Another nice one was here's one is it's a lead 1953 movie from the Peter Pan movie. It's Peter Pan and Captain Hook.
Oh really?
Lead figures, and this is just really cool looking. Let me see how tall these are. It's sold for $991. It's just Hook and Pan, but it has the original box. Let's see. Doesn't say how big they are. You can't quite tell.
Yeah, a lot of these little like lead soldiers and stuff, they're only an inch or two high. Well, maybe an inch and a half at the most. Most of them are small.
I feel like these are 3 inches tall.
3 inches. That's still
but
not
I don't
good.
have anything. They don't say.
Yeah.
They started out at like 1/35th scale, which was 1.8 inches.
Yeah.
And then they went, and they still are. They're all different sizes. 1/32nd scale, which is 1.98, almost 2. 1/30th, 2.15. 1/28th, 2.36. And if you're looking for millimeters, that would be 46, 50, 55, and 60. Then 1/24th is 3 inches, 76.2 millimeters. And 1/16th .75 millimeters, 4-inch figure,
Mm-hmm.
and they just go. And its scale is expressed as the soldier's approximate height from the head to the foot.
Mm-hmm.
Because many figures don't stand up straight,
Right.
so some of it is an approximation.
Yeah, sure.
If you're trying to figure out. Now, for gamers, 25 millimeters and smaller scales are what they prefer to play with. And on the larger end, some of the dime store figures and some of the ones made in Germany are the 3 inches and up.
Now, are there any companies making lead toy soldiers today?
I don't know about lead.
They wouldn't be lead, but there are definitely metal.
Metal?
Yeah.
Probably pewter. Is pewter?
Pewter.
Does that seem
More,
like-
more likely aluminum.
Or,
Okay.
or aluminum, maybe?
Yeah, or if you're looking for a metal.
Yeah.
Because, like I say, the gamer peoples, they're playing Dungeons and Dragons and war
Yeah.
game type things on that. I've seen those at the
Oh, yeah.
gaming store in Tullahoma. That they've got racks of figures for
Figures.
sale.
Are
and
they
stuff, and
expensive?
Oh yeah. They're, they're they're for people to collect and paint, and they're not cheap.
Name
I
your
couldn't
price stuff.
I couldn't tell you how much they cost because I was never into that. So when I see them, I'm like, oh yeah, those are for the people that
Yeah.
that have time to sit around painting little figures.
Yeah,
which
aren't they
I know.
nice? Then they just keep
Yeah.
on going.
Yeah, kind of like action figures I used to take to the comic book stores and sell.
Yeah. Oh, so Howard,
Yeah.
was your your leg casting thing called a Caster Kit Junior, possibly?
Oh,
Do you have the box?
kit? I have the. What do I? I don't have the box.
Okay.
I don't know what the brand is on it, but it's got a little pot, round pot with a long handle.
I've got
electric,
one. Looks like that. Yeah. It's
and it's got. You could at one time you could get different molds. I have a
Yeah.
book for it, but I don't remember what the name of it was.
they probably won't ship them to you if you try to order off of it. Just
Yeah, yeah, they're probably out of business.
I've got a 1930s AC Gilbert Caster Kit Jr. lead toy soldier number 3, Cavalry lead mold dipper. And this is coming from Knoxville, actually, where it came out of. It's sold for $411.56. And now it does have the box and all the pieces, but it's used, and it's even got several figures that were made with it. And the picture on the front shows like this little tray, and it's holding the mold up.
Yeah, there was like a
squeezed
little
together,
metal
and
thing.
a little boy pouring.
Yeah, there was
in a ladle
there
into
was
the
like
top.
a U-shaped metal thing
Yeah.
made out of tin, and you
Yeah.
put the mold down in it. It held it together.
Yeah.
And then you would pour the pot with the hot what you were cooking the lead in had a handle on it, metal handle. No wood. It was metal.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
it would be nice and warm.
Yeah, Gilbert made a lot of those sets.
I'm wanting to say this was
They-
Gilbert,
they
but
were
I
a
don't
big one.
remember.
You know, they done.
It says this is
chemistry
non-electric.
sets.
Oh, I guess because you heat up your lead.
Well, this.
How do you heat up your lead?
Well,
when
mine
you
was
made
electric.
yours?
Mine had built-in hot
what year
pipes.
is that you're looking at?
Say
Does
what?
Does that say what year that is?
1930s is what it
So-
says.
Now they might have had one that they have the kid putting it on the stove
Maybe you're just supposed to hold it over the fire or
or
something.
hold it over a fire. But no, but the one I have is an electric because I didn't have the cord for it. The electric
Oh.
cord,
Yeah.
and I found an old coffee pot cord. They had
Very
the
similar,
2-prong thing
I
bet,
that fit. And it worked.
It's even got some of what it says casting metal, like little pieces on it that haven't been used yet.
Oh
in this
boy!
one.
Yeah, so all mine's been used many times. Because what happens if it doesn't come out right? You just sew him back in and
I got
melt him back down and
Yeah, they only have one original lead bar out of it. Everything else
I got
is
some
used.
blocks of lead if you need some.
yeah.
But you can knock $60 to $80 off for the box.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I think it has 3 clips, a press, a mold, one original lead bar, pressed figures, box lid, a dipper for pouring, other heavy metal plates, and some wood for ?
yeah.
It's like
I don't know what that's
I don't
for.
really know what the wood's for. I think the
Question
wood
mark.
is to Actually, the way in the picture here, I think the wood is maybe what you put underneath your stuff so that you don't get
burn.
beat for messing up the table
kitchen
or the
table.
floor. Yeah, because you probably were doing this in the kitchen
So
table.
you're right about that.
Well, whoever, I guess it might have been my dad. I don't know, but he's got it mounted on a piece of wood about a foot square. You know, it's got the thing, the pot has a little stand to keep it off the wood. You know, so he's got that nailed down there, and then you put the pot
To
on
keep
there.
it from being poured over.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
And that way, when you were heating up the lead, you didn't cook the surface of whatever was below it because it was on the stand mounted on this piece of wood, so you didn't mess up Mother's kitchen table.
Oh, okay. There you go.
You know.
Let's see. I've got a Confederate Cavalry charge, 54 millimeter lead figures.
Wow.
There are like about 12 guys here, and just immaculately painted. And it's the cavalry charging, you know.
Yeah.
They're all on horses, you know, in action poses. It looks really great. And they wanted $524 and took a best offer, but it was over $500 for 12 figures
Isn't that
painted
something?
really nicely. I mean, I had no idea that these brought this
Oh
much
my,
money.
yeah.
Huge money.
They're big money, and they're really well done. A lot of them are well done. I mean, just beautiful, the detail, and I guess that's where their real value comes in, is the detail of some of the even down to like the figures, the way they have facial features even on some of the on the faces, you know. They're just not a hunk of green plastic like you see
Like the
on
current ones,
like
yeah.
the current oones, you
Yeah.
know. And
Now I've got a
Here's just one more. Let's
Go ahead.
jump off. Is a $341. This is in Britain, and you know how Britain occupied lots and lots of Africa.
yep.
Here are Zulu warrior tribes
now those
really?
are hot. I saw those.
to fight the British with.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you gotta
And-
have the good guys and the bad guys.
It says this is original first version, which I don't.
Is that a
not being
Britain? That's a
collector.
Britain, ain't it? Britain.
Yeah, Britain's pre-war vintage lead Zulu crawl camp set number 188, first version. So it has 7 tribesmen, a couple of huts, and some palm trees. $340.
Wow.
I mean, it's painted very nicely
Yeah,
too, so it's in a really good condition. But it's also shipping from the United Kingdom, so the shipping's probably on lead, might be.
Yeah.
Well, now that company made a lot of the higher dollar pieces.
Right,
'cause they're
right,
yeah.
one of the older companies.
Right.
So I interrupted you.
Oh no, that's
Ronnie,
okay.
what's that here?
I just found a couple of pieces I was going to share. I had a Conti Civil War battlefield sections. Now this, and it looks to me from what I'm seeing in this picture, and I can't pull up anymore, but they're like a wooden scene here and a wooden scene here, and in the center of it is like a big pit where they blow big holes all in it, you know.
Oh.
Yeah.
23 bids, and it brought $870.
My goodness.
And I don't see any figures with it, just the sections there.
This section.
And then there's a 54 millimeter, 1/32 scale, Shenandoah Civil War. It's got the Union pieces and the Confederate pieces. Brought $700. And they look like they're all still in the box.
Huh. That's amazing there. Hey, it's time it's time to take another little break here. And we'll be right back with more Let's Talk Antiques in just a minute or two.
The Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester has been voted as having the best hamburgers in Manchester. Hometown atmosphere, historical memorabilia, and of course those great burgers, salads, chicken, and so much more. It's the Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester. Call in orders at 728-4452. You can also order at the convenient outdoor curb service. Hamburgers are made the old-fashioned way at the Jiffy Burger, Manchester's finest hamburgers. Open 7:30 until 9, Monday through Saturday.
Hello, I'm Pick and Rick T from CFC, best place to get you used auto parts and all types of metals to repurpose for your needs. Just take a drive down 55, see this handsome guy, stop on by. Check out our computer for hundreds of autos to locate the make and the model of the part you need. $2 fee is all you pay. Sign in and get a hand stamp, it's good for all day. Bring in your tools, get the parts you need pulled, and use a wheelbarrow to lighten the load. Pay for your parts, prices you'll be fond of. Each part's price the same, Chevy or Honda. Get exchange warranty for 30 days too. Swap out the parts you don't need for the parts that you do. Happy picking!
Tune in to Let's Talk Antiques for the only locally produced antique show in the area. Every week, David, Ronnie, Philip, and Howard bring you new topics about how to maximize your investments in collectibles. Whether that's Star Wars toys or cowboy movie posters, they cover it all. Show founder David Pennington has been featured on the History Channel's American Pickers and is well known for his knowledge of Coca-Cola memorabilia, vintage gas pumps, and all things cowboy related. That's Let's Talk Antiques, live Wednesdays at 9 a.m. on WMSR Radio, or watch our video replays on P-Head's Charter Channel 193, LightTube's Channel 6, or on our Facebook and YouTube channels. There's always a new find on Let's Talk Antiques.
All right, we're back with Let's Talk Antiques, and we got a caller. Let's see what we have here. Hello, caller. Wait a minute. Here, I'll try it now. Are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Okay, what you got?
I got a little scooter. Little kid sits on it and pushes it with his feet, 4 wheels on it. It's a radio flyer and it's made out of wood.
Do you know how old it is or anything about it other than that?
No, a friend gave it to me and I got it sitting on a shelf at home. I don't know anything about it.
Is it one you could sit on, or is it strictly for standing?
You sit on it. It's got a long seat on it.
Okay, all right. I see one that went for $125. A vintage radio flyer maple wood 4-wheel scooter.
What mine is.
Yeah, what condition is yours in?
It's pretty good. One of the wheels is a little bad, but other than that, it's pretty good shape.
Okay. I got the one that went for $125, and then the next went for $40. So I couldn't tell you the difference between those two. But that's a good range for you. Not bad find.
Yeah, that's a nice little antique to have in your collection.
All right. I appreciate it.
All right, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks for calling.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. See? You got something laying around or sitting around in the corner, like on a shelf or in the garage, and you say, I wonder if it's worth anything. Next thing you know, it's worth $100 or more.
Yeah.
A lot of times. So,
I've found a bunch of old magazines that I had from when I was a kid that are called one of them was Byte, and one of them was, gosh, I can't even think of the name of it. It's like a Enter, E-N-T-E-R. And it was a kid's computer magazine that I got when I was like 9 and 10 years old. And they're going for $10 a piece on eBay. So I was like, yeah, these are talking about, the Commodore 64s and things like that.
People are buying those to put with their
Yeah,
computers.
absolutely. And I have got every one of mine online right now.
that's okay. I got a box over in my shed with a TI-99 computer in it.
Oh, wow, there you go.
Who knows what that might be worth? That was Commodore. They were same time.
Can I have that?
Yeah. I sold my Commodore 64 to help pay for my first IBM PC style computer.
Wow.
So
who would think that an old computer like that would be even worth anything? But see, now it's no good as a computer.
Right.
But it's somebody's got a collection. They're into computers and they want one of everything.
They remember playing a game when they were a kid that only ran on that old style computer. So you have to have that old computer in order to play the games.
The ones I had, I had to have a cassette recorder for a backup, and I had a monitor.
You had an old TV
black
set.
And white was my monitor.
Yeah, you had an old TV set. You put the adapter on to make it into a monitor.
I've still got that. I've still got my candy. Yeah, and the book with it.
And the books, yeah. Well, that's what
it had the programs in it. That's where I learned BASIC.
Yeah, see?
Got a TI-99 brand new in the box.
Oh, brand new.
$390.
Yeah, see, so my old one over there is probably worth $100 or so.
Here's just the circuit board out of one. That was a buy it now. This is a bid up. Just the circuit board for it went for $393 with 9 bids.
Good grief.
So there you go. So you could probably get $400 off
I
this.
want an
just so
Apple
you know.
One, kid. You ain't got
300.
one of those laying around.
No,
have you?
I don't know those. But it's amazing, you see, and then I think that's one of the objectives of this program is to take a look at what you got in your house. Maybe something left over from the kids, or that you collected years ago, or found years ago, or you've had maybe something that you're passed down to you from your parents or grandparents. It may be worth a lot of money, so do be careful. Don't just put it in the yard sale for $1.
Right.
No.
It may be worth a lot of money.
Before you throw it away, you might decide to stick it back in the closet and keep it for a while, or go ahead and cash in on that.
You just
know,
never know. See?
that $400 thing,
Yeah.
value thing that's just been taking up space in your closet for 30 years. that
My
you
problem
wanna
is
get rid of.
I save something and I find out that 4 million other people saved the same thing and it's not worth it.
That's a
But
problem. at
I
times.
threw that one thing that was really worth a lot of money away because I didn't think it was any good.
See, that
Exactly.
falls under you never know, so look
You-
at everything.
That's right. So you got to save everything.
Yes.
You got to be a hoarder.
Japanese figures that the little cheap made in Japan figures
Oh,
right
yeah.
after World
Yeah.
War II.
Yeah.
That everybody was just, those are cheap made in
My
Japan
problem
garbage.
is even with
you know.
junk, I look at something and I say, I could repurpose that into something else. You know,
Yeah.
I could make something else out of that. So I've got more stuff now and I've got places to put.
Well,
See, I can remember getting, as a boy, you get these tin toys, little cars. You remember?
Yeah.
They were made in Japan. But on the they were all pretty on the outside. But on the inside, if you happened to look inside, it said Coca-Cola.
Oh,
Yes,
no,
but
sorry.
during the war where they
Yeah, I didn't never
repurposed
see
metal.
those.
They would reuse the cans and stuff, and,
Yes.
and
The original
or
form of
beer,
recycling, yeah.
Budweiser or something like that. And those, they were like the cheap toys you bought at the 5 and dime. And if you had some of those today, they would be
They
worth
bring the
money.
money.
They bring big
Yeah.
money, and that was
Yes.
junk.
that was a little quicker way of recycling than melting it down and casting it.
Well, of course,
Just
and
cut it out.
immediately after the war, they started doing that stuff. It was easy to do, and they didn't cost a lot of money, and
Well-
they didn't have a lot of money to invest.
Well, they
and-
come out of Japan,
Yeah, a lot of it was-
because they had to be really creative over there.
but I think back now, all those junk toys that I probably had, and it just got thrown away, or the box of comic books that my grandmother threw away.
Oh,
that if
God.
I had
Yeah.
today, would
You probably had some good ones.
there might have been some good ones in there.
Yeah.
They probably
Yeah.
all were worth more than the dime I paid
Well, if
for.
you got
Yeah, at this
anything
point, I'd
that's
say so.
the first appearance of any of the
Oh, yeah.
popular characters.
But they
And
moved.
I'm telling you something here. Disney is going back and doing characters that weren't so popular.
Yeah.
So
True.
some of the other comic books, when those movies come out,
Yeah.
will
Yeah.
start being worth more and more money.
More and more.
That's what my there's a series about Archie. Archie has been modernized, and,
Oh.
and it's like a Netflix thing or something
Yeah.
like that. And my kids are watching Archie, and I made a couple of references to it, like
Yeah.
of the characters, and my daughter was like, "Are you watching this?" I was like, "No, I read my mom's comic books that
Yeah.
were made
Yeah.
in
What
the
was
Yeah.
50s."
There was
about it.
Archie. What was his sidekick's name?
Jughead.
Jughead,
yeah.
and there
Veronica,
was Veronica and
that's-
Betty.
Betty. There you go.
Yeah.
That's the only 4 I can
Yeah, that
remember
was the
out of it,
4
so,
main
yeah.
characters.
Well, they had cartoons about it in the
Yeah,
70s.
and of course it was in the Sunday paper.
Yeah,
And,
so
and
it's
the
like a
comic books.
modern, teen drama show at
Yeah.
this point, kind of thing. Or at least it was recently enough to where my daughter watched it. But let me jump on this.
Yeah, because
right
we
before
only got
run out of
about
time.
2 minutes left here, a
There-
minute and a half.
Since we didn't have any valuable plastic ones from my generation, here is actually a Marx Iwo Jima playset, U.S. and Japanese soldiers, with about 30 Japanese soldiers on it. It's really big. It's like a mountain that they're attacking, and there's flags on it, and there might be missing gun tips and stuff. 22 U.S. soldiers. So it's been played with. It's not in perfect condition. $355 plus $60 shipping on
Wow.
that, with 45 bids.
Wow. So there's a
So-
lot of people after it.
So people were after it, and it's, I'd say it's not even in perfect shape, and it brought a lot of money.
So it just goes to show you what you need to be watching for and what you need to be saving.
I've got a Civil War mounted Confederate General Jubal Early, $350 on a buy it now.
Huh. Well, it looks like we're out of time. I hate to say it.
All right.
Yeah. I guess are we going to come back next week?
We're going to be back next week. We're going to attempt something slightly different
In one form or another.
One form or another.
To be
we'll
in compliance with everything, but we'll leave you in suspense.
Okay. We'll see you next week for more Let's Talk Antiques. Take care and be safe out there.